So welcome to Demo Day. Are you ready to kick it off?
I am. Thank you, Amy. Let me
Sure.
share my screen and we'll get started.
Great.
All right. So, as Amy mentioned, my name is Sean Garrity. I'm with Crestwood Associates. Today, we'll be demoing our collections management module for you. We do have some other enhancements for Acumatica as well, like advanced commissions, lockbox processing, advanced order rules, auto kitting. So, if you have any need for any of those solutions, or even just want to peek at them, see what they're about, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us. But without further ado, let's jump into collections management. So as you can see, I'm in Acumatica and we are at a dashboard for collections. All of our solutions are created in the Acumatica framework. So there is a separate workspace for collections management. It is a customization package that's published to your tenant. If you did not know that this was a separate customization package, you would just think collections management is another module within Acumatica. You never have to leave Acumatica to use the solution or anything like that. If you are familiar with dashboards, you know that they are designed to be modified to fit your needs. So you can see there's a lot of information on this screen. We have some open invoices that a collector may be working on, other activities that a collector may be following up on, a chart showing open invoices by customer, some top due balances, aging buckets, as well as some days sales outstanding. So it is a busy screen. As I mentioned, it's a sample dashboard, so it can be modified to fit your needs for sure. So let's jump into the collections management workspace and show you what we have. As I'm sure you can all imagine, every type of collections these days involves email. So the first thing we'd like to do is take a look at email templates. This is not functionality that Crestwood created. This is standard Acumatica functionality. If you are already sending emails, automated emails for anything in the system, maybe sales order confirmations, you're probably familiar with using email templates. But we'll jump in here and show you what an email template looks like for collections. We have our first template here, letting clients know that they're going to have invoices coming due soon. You have the ability to control the text of the email, add logos or images as needed, and you have the ability to insert data fields from Acumatica. You can see that we're including invoice number, due date, document balance, just so clients have as much information as possible. Just to show you quickly, template two, slightly different. We now have outstanding invoices due, and you'll see why we would have different templates like this. Again, change the text a bit, but still including some data fields. You are not by any means limited to two templates, but that's what we have in our demo system here for this. So let's jump into collection plan maintenance, and we'll start talking about our plans. So as you can see, we have two plans in our demo system. Didn't get overly creative with the names, good customer and bad customer. So we'll look at our good customer plan first. The first field that I'd like to mention here is our plan minimum. We have this set for $100 for our good customers. What that means is that we will not be looking at invoices for customers on this plan that have a balance of less than $100. You are able to control this and set it at whatever stage you would like it to be. But for our good customers, we're leaving it a little higher. We're not going to bother them on the smaller invoices. We're going to make the assumption that they would pay. The next field we're dealing with is after last executed step. So you have the ability to set this to continue to repeat the last step if you get to it, or you can just have it stop. You also have the ability to control the owner assignment, and this is who notifications or emails in the system are going to be sent from. So if you are the user that's running the plans and executing things, you can have all the emails come from you. You have the ability to set it to come from the default collector, or you can specify a collector in the system that you would like it to come from. We also have the ability to set it for the line level. So you have different steps in your plans, and you can have the messaging come from a different user for each step if you desire. For our demo, we're just going to leave it as run user to keep things simple. So when you create your collection plans, you have the ability to set up to 8 steps in each plan. The first thing that you're going to do when you create your step is to set your aging bucket. So for our step one here, you can see we have -15. That means we're actually notifying our clients of upcoming invoices that they will be receiving. The next field I'd like to mention here is the grace period. As you can see, I have it set to 0, and that's intentional in the demo system, just so I'm always populating activities. But in reality, you would probably set this to 15 for this step. What that does is it prevents your clients from receiving a notification or an email every time you process the collection plan. It's very frequent that you'll be processing the collection plans on a daily basis, but you're probably not going to want to email your client every day that they have invoices coming due. So you have the ability to control how frequently they receive your messaging. For the purpose of the demo, we'll leave it at 0. The next thing you're going to do on each step is choose your action. We have email set for our first step, but you could choose task, note, schedule a phone call, or you could even use fax if there's people that are still using that. We originally had a medical company that was using it and had to fax clients. Because we have email set as our action here, we get to choose which template that we'd like to use. So we can choose either template 1 or 2 or others if you have them available. Along with the email that's sent, you're able to choose your report type. You have 3 options here. Customer report is essentially a statement. It will send the statement that has all of the customer's open invoices on there. If you choose invoice report with all open, the email will include attachments for all open invoices under this client's account. And if you choose invoice report this step, it will only include or attach the invoices that fall within this aging bucket. So you have options on what you would like to do there. When we move on to our second step, you can see we're getting into the regular aging buckets for 1 to 59 days here. Again, no grace period set, but you have the ability to control that. Our action for step 2 is going to be a phone call. In here, we have a note scheduled in here as well, just to tell the collector, we want to make sure that you follow up in 5 days. We have the follow-up days set here, but the note obviously provides a little more guidance in case anyone isn't paying attention just to the follow-up days in the system. Step 3, we're now in our 60 to 90-day aging buckets. We're going to go back to sending an email again, and this time we've chosen our Collections 2 template because the invoices are past due. We are still attaching our invoice report with all open invoices in there as well. When we jump down to step 4, we're now 90 to 120 days. We're going to send an email again. In our demo system here, we're just using collections template 2, but as I mentioned, you could have a third collection template set up. You may start to use slightly stronger language to your client, letting them know that they have invoices that are 90 days or more past due and you really need them to pay. And the same when we get to step 5 here. We have email again, and again, we're using collection template 2, but you could have an even more strongly worded template if you so desire. However, since we're in our good customer plan, most of these clients are paying when they're due. We never even get down to step 4, so we're not overly concerned about having additional templates for them. Excuse me. Let me jump into the bad customer plan. We'll show you some of the differences we have here. So for our plan minimum here, we're choosing $10. We are reaching out to our bad customers almost immediately on all of their invoices. We don't trust that they're going to pay, so we're keeping that value quite a bit lower to make sure that we're following up. Again, we can set the last execute step and the owner assignment as well for this plan. Again, we're contacting clients before the invoices are due to try to head off any people paying late. But for our bad customers, we're not messing around. We're starting directly with a phone call. We want our collectors to reach out, touch base with the clients, make sure they're aware that the invoices are coming, and we have them following up in 5 days if they're not able to connect. When we get down to step 2, we're now into our 30 or 90 aging buckets, and we have a second phone call scheduled. The difference here is now we have our collector following up every 2 days. We want to make sure that our collectors are touching base with the clients because they now have invoices that are more than 30 days past due, and we need to make sure we're getting a response for them on what's happening. As we get to step 3, we're now 90 days past due, and we're sending an email so we have written notification that we've contacted the client. Again, we're using collections template 2 here, but because this is the bad customer plan, you may want to have a separate email template specifically for them, something worded a little bit more strongly, and we're still sending all open invoices to them with that email. When we get to step 4 in this plan, we're no longer having our collectors follow up at this point. They are on the bad customer plan for a reason. They're 120 days past due. So we're creating a task, escalating this to management, and allowing management to decide exactly how we're going to proceed from there. Do we just want to follow up on the invoice again? Do we want to send them to collections? At that point, it's up to your management team to decide how they would like to proceed. Again, there are additional steps that can be configured. You can make your aging buckets much shorter if you so desire, but you have the ability to manage up to 8 steps in your plans. So at this point, we have our plans created. Oh, and one other thing to mention, you can create more than 2 plans. There's no limit to the number of plans you create. We do advise clients to keep it to a relative number that are easy to manage. The more plans that you have, the more management that goes on. So we would say don't overcomplicate it, but you can make it as granular as you would like to. So now let's jump into our collection customer maintenance, and we can assign plans to customers. So here you will see we have all of the customers listed. We already have our plans assigned here, but if you were setting this up for the first time and the plan ID was empty, you have the ability to go into each customer, assign a plan, and get them set up that way. You also would have the ability to export this to Excel. If you have a large client base and a lot of customers to set up, it's obviously easier to populate that data in Excel. You could just import that back into the collections management module to streamline that process. Now that we have the plan set up and the customers assigned to that, we want to go into collector maintenance and assign collectors. You can see I'm logged in as the admin, so I'll just choose that account. All of these customers are assigned to me to do it that way. If you are adding new customers once you've been using the process, it's no problem to come in here and just add a single customer to another collector if needed. Now, I have described this as a 2-step process, but we have a way to make this much simpler as well and do it as a 1-step under our collector customer import. You could easily have a spreadsheet here where you put your employee user ID, the customer name, plan ID, and then import all of this information at once. So it doesn't have to be done separately as 2 steps. We do have an easy way to do that and handle it in just 1 step. So now let's get into the processing of our plans and show you how this actually works. So we'll select our good customer plan to start. You see we have a calculate plan button, so we're going to do that. And you can see we have a summary on the top of the screen with similar information down on the bottom, but with some more detail. So we have 6 customers that fell into this plan when we calculated. 3 emails should be sent and 3 phone calls should be made. When we execute the plan, the emails will automatically be sent and activities will be generated in the system for them. One thing I would like to mention is this delete selected lines. If you received a phone call or an email or spoke with New York International Beauty School as an example, you probably don't need to schedule an activity to call them. You already know what's going on with them. So you have the ability to delete that line before executing the plan so that it won't be included. No reason to have extra activities in the system if you already know what's going on with the customer. So we'll execute that plan. We'll go back quickly and do our bad customer as well. We'll calculate that. We can see there's just 4 in this plan, and we'll execute that too. Now we can move on to our collection activity list. These are the activities that were created once we executed the plan. You can see this first activity is showing the attached AR invoice down below. So if you need to click into the invoice, no problem. You can get some detail before following up on it. But the way we'll work on the activity is to then click into it. And you can see we have a large text field here, so you're able to make as many notes as you would like to. If you're going to make a phone call, you can select your contact and it's going to populate the phone number that's connected with this contact so you can reach out, call them directly, no problem there. We added functionality to provide reason codes. You can define these and add as many reason codes as you want. While it's great to have notes down here, the reason codes were really created for a client that was interested in tracking trends. Why are we having invoices that are not being paid? Is there something that's going on in our process and can we improve it? So by putting these reason codes in there, you have the ability to do that. As I mentioned, a large text field. You can type as much or as little as you want here, and just get the details saved in there. You're able to complete activities or complete and follow up if you need to. You also have the ability to get to the AR invoice from here if you are on the phone or speaking with a client, no problem there. You can see we also added the ability to create promises. A lot of times, you're following up on overdue invoices and, oh, sorry, I forgot, but I promise I'll send payment. So you have the ability to add a promise for any of the invoices that are open. If there were multiple invoices, you can add a promise for all of them. As you do that, you just continue to work down your list, add the activities, open them up, put notes in there, do whatever you need to do, and move on from there. When we do look at our promise checker, if we are receiving them, you can see this is a processing screen. This could be set up to run in the evening if you'd like, but for now, we're just going to go ahead and process all of the promises. And what we're able to do is look at collection promises, and you can see we have some conditional formatting here. The ones that you see in red are promises that have been broken. People said they were going to make payment or submit to us whatever they were going to do in regard to the invoice if they're disputing it or something like that, but they haven't done so by the date that they put in. The green ones are for promises that are still open. So a little bit of functionality there to help you better track what's going on. As you can see, we have a number of inquiries that are related to collections management, some reports as well, and dashboards, but we're always happy to work with clients to create any additional inquiries or reports or dashboards that are needed. So I know this was a very quick presentation, but a quick overview of collections management. If you're interested in discussing further, please let Amy or myself know.